welcome back to 1010's Podcast. I'm your host, Robbie Gray. And across from me is my co-host, Dusty Nixon, and Adam could not be bothered. He's very busy. Too busy for us.
He prioritizes making a living over doing this very important podcast.
It's so selfish.
I just don't know how to feel about that.
It's so selfish. Like, he's not, like, making shit up. He sends us a picture of sitting in next to a, 106,000 volt, whatever he has to wait to get safely removed so he can work on something else. It's like, yeah, I probably shouldn't rush that.
I think he said it was 1.21 gigawatts.
That's basically the same number. Yes. Crazy.
And yeah, I told him just go up there and do your thing. And he said that he doesn't bend rules whenever it involves thousands of amps and hundreds of thousands of volts. And
you know, with a good lawyer, I bet if anything happened, he could be just fine the rest of his whole life, even if it's not very long. But the lawyer would make it worth his while, or someone's while.
Someone with his last name could have a very nice, fruitful life after. Probably not him.
Probably not him. But luckily, he's right there next to my new
Flatum.
Yeah, my Flatum poster, or not poster, my cutout. And then if you see here, I thought it looked better in the video, but it's clearly not showing up very well. But I added like a felt thing against the wall. And then that's all my Petrobox pins that I didn't know what to do with. So now I have a poster board thing with all my pins.
It looks beautiful from here.
I'll add things to it, like pictures and whatnot. Pictures of all my friends. How about that?
It's got all the pictures of your friends on it right now.
There's one GLTC pin, or what do you call that? Patch. And then there's like one patch I got at an SCCA event, and that's all that's hanging up there.
Oh, well, those aren't friends, though.
Those are enemies. Those are all my enemies.
Yeah.
It's there out of spite to motivate me to be better.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, those assholes.
Right before you sit down in the sim and you go, this is why I'm doing this, to beat those assholes.
Yep. I did hit an accolade on my iRacing yesterday. I got my Class A license. That was kind of cool. And then I'm the highest. My I rating is higher than all of my friends. So I don't know.
It's way higher than mine, I can tell you.
It's to the point where I'm almost like I think the GR86 is the only one I'm not constantly into the top split. I'm like the second split. So now like the competition's legit. So it takes a little bit more effort now. But
it's like
I'm still enjoying it.
You're no longer on arcade mode as far as the difficulty level of the competition.
Yeah, it's like what it pops up, and I didn't realize that when it changes to a new license, that it drops your safety rating by 1.0. And I was like, yeah, man, I got a really good safety rating. I'm like almost at 4. And like I'm gonna get my A license. It's like, all right, man, we're rolling right through this. And then it updates, and it's like, I think it was like 2 point whatever it ended up being. I was like, seriously? Now I have to be extra safe.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well.
Yeah, you got to make a good impression whenever they move you into a new run group.
Well, it's kind of frustrating too, because like the A class, the only thing you really get in sports cars is the IMSA race. Like there's like no other classes besides IMSA at that point. But
yep, I've been out of it for so long that last year, whenever I got my new computer, I re-upped using like the SCCA discount thing.
Oh,
you got like a 3-month or whatever. And so I just started a new account, which my old account was so old that I didn't have any, and I never really did that much with it anyway. And I got in there and I was like, I don't know where to go. I don't know. None of this looks familiar at all. It's completely different than it was the last time I used it. I couldn't even figure out how to, all I wanted to do is just go drive a car. And I couldn't even figure out how to do that.
Yeah, the user interface totally changed like a couple of years ago. Like that, didn't think that was probably you were probably still working off the desk or the website, and then it switched to the UI, like its own separate like icon, and then you run out of that.
Yeah,
so that was a huge change.
Yeah, I was completely lost. I was like, this car looks nice. I just want to drive it at this track. How do I do that? And about 30 or 40 minutes later, I had completed like approximately 1 gig worth of downloads to get that track and that car.
Yep.
And then we were able to go do a lap.
Yep. The last update was 12 gigs to get everything up to the new season.
That's so
Luckily,
crazy to me.
my internet's been fixed, so that took no time at all. But still, it was just like, jeez. But no, it's been fun. And then the only thing I get frustrated with is that the fact that there's like nothing with an actual H pattern gearbox at all. It's all sequentials. So to be fast, you have to left foot brake. And that's not really great practice for someone that won't left foot brake in reality. So I have to like separate when I'm iRacing, I have to iRace. And then when I do like practice thinking about like the next event or whatever, I have to actively change how I'm braking to represent what I'm going to be doing. So it's just definitely, it's not the same. And I kind of get frustrated by that.
Yeah, it throws me for a loop whenever the times that I've autocrossed the truck, and you have to left foot brake it. There's no way around it. You can't. Whenever it has such a high center of gravity and so much weight on the front, it's like there's no way to not left foot brake.
Yep.
And everything goes great until something goes wrong and you end up sliding backwards through the finish of an autocross course, and you're just like, my feet are just pushing things, and and they're not the right things.
I'm sorry.
I went both feet in, but
the wrong
feet
two
weren't where they were supposed to be. I was like, one was under the brake pedal and one was on the brake, and I don't even know which one was which, to be honest.
Well, I remember at Autobahn, after I'd shelled out another fifth gear in the CD09, and I was talking to Chris at Seems Legit. He's like, "Yeah, we could get you an adapter plate to run, one of the BMW. I can't think what the number is off the top of my head, but like whatever the paddle shifter transmission they got. It's like
8 HP.
That's it. He's like, yeah, we can get you an adapter and all that shit to get an 8 HP, no problem. And I was thinking, like, my first thought was that would make practice very similar.
It'd make the transition from iRacing to real life much better.
But then I was like, that's going to cost so much. And I already had the engine build going. So I was like, how about we focus on I can fix the transmission we got. Let's get the engine going. And then if I'm still frustrated and I'm still shelling out engines or transmissions, then we can focus on that.
Then you can use the Moza sequential shifter / handbrake for your shifter. That
would be rad. I have a Moza H pattern one, but I hardly ever use it because I really only ever would use it on like a Seto or R Factor 2, or if I was doing like project cars just for the hell of it.
Oh man, I totally forget about R Factor because I've got all of the tracks that I want in a Seto.
Yep.
But I had a really good map of NOLA for R Factor. Or I guess NOLA is just in R Factor. Or I don't remember if I had to add it, but either way.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I remember there was one good one.
Yeah, there was a really good 350Z race car in R Factor, and a good map of NOLA. So that was solid prep work for
noise.
Our trips to NOLA. From what I remember, I think I liked the tire modeling and everything else in R Factor.
Yep.
Felt more realistic than what Assetto does. But
yeah, Assetto takes quite a bit of time for me to kind of make that transition to go from, especially if I've been doing iRacing a lot and I have to go over to Assetto. The physics is totally different. Oop.
Yeah. So fun sim racing story. Fun I'm an idiot story.
Ooh.
I got a new computer Black Friday of 2024. Yeah. Got a Lenovo Legion gaming laptop because my computer was forever and a day old.
Sure.
And I got it in and got all of my crap set up over the span of 4 nights of hours of work. And got it all going and like just kind of drove it here and there. Didn't put a whole lot of time or thought into it. And the wheel never has felt right. The wheel hasn't felt right in forever. And I never taken the time to mess with it. Like it had very little feedback and it was just felt really weak. I was just like, like I think it's probably just old and broken because it's a Logitech G29 or 920 or whatever.
Yep.
So it's a wheel that's forever and a day old, and it wasn't good whenever it rolled off the assembly line. So cool, whatever. I buckled down over the last couple of months and was driving G2 fairly frequently on Assetto, trying to get ready for doing the Optima event. And I finally one night I was like, this is straight up broken. I don't know what to do. I got in there and started messing with settings, and I'm like pushing all of the feedback settings through the roof, and nothing changes. Turn them all the way down, nothing changes. Turn things on and off, nothing changes. I'm like, okay. So I got in and found there was a Reddit thread that had like there's a program that you can run that'll get all of the like parameters for the wheel by running tests. And then so I got that, and it doesn't want to make the wheel do anything. And then so I go down another rabbit hole and figure out, okay, you need to kill the current version of the Logitech software and go download this one from like 2018. And then that'll get it working to where the wheel checker thing will work, and then you can export your test results and then create a LUT file and do this and do that and whatever. So I kill the new Logitech software, and I go get the old Logitech software, and the wheel check thing still doesn't work, and I can't make the LUT file work and whatever else. But I finally one night, I'm so frustrated. I just want to go do a couple laps. And I pull out of the pit lane and hit the curb, and the wheel goes kunk. And I'm like, whoa, the Logitech software was the problem the whole time. So I've felt straight up like I could not drive in the sim literally anything to save my life forever. And it was purely because the wheel just was not doing anything. It was basically just hooked to a dead fish inside it.
That'll do it.
It was basically nothing but centering force now that I think back on it. And so anytime the car would weight transfer and want to try to spin, the wheel's not giving you any sign of that at all. And the car is just going backwards before you realize what's going on. And I just can't drive anymore. And I guess that's just how it is. I don't know. But
yeah, the software that I use is the Marvin's Awesome whatever thing, and it basically overrides all of the iRacing stuff, and then it gives great feedback. I think the understeering and oversteer is where you really feel the difference with that compared to what the iRacing settings are.
Yeah. So the thing that I've found in Assetto that I can consistently drive more than anything else is just the MX-5 Cup car, because it's just super predictable and you can ride the rotation of it a little bit.
Yep.
But I continually, if I clip the inside curb at all and even think about getting on the gas, it's going backwards.
Yep.
And the first time I actually I got the tires warm and got in and clipped a curb, and I was able to just catch the rotation and slide the thing out to the exit, and I was just I haven't completely lost my mind. Well, I have lost my mind because it took me over a year to get in and try to figure out what the hell was going on. But yeah.
It happens, man. It happens. And then if you're like me, you get frustrated and walk away, and then you come back a week or a month later, and you have to remember why you hate the thing, and then before you know, it's been a year or two.
Yep. Yeah, I do the same thing. I have two different bicycles, and one of them, every time I get on it, I remember, oh yeah, I completely ganked the derailleur on it 3 years ago now. And I always think when I ride it, I need to order all new parts and just swap it all out, because it's all been bent 9 ways to Sunday and then just kind of kludged back together. Don't ever think about it until I get back on the bike the next time. Okay.
Every time.
So it's got 8 gears on the rear, and 3 of them are usable. The rest of them all grind and get angry, but
it's fine. was gonna say the only update I got is I dropped the Z off with Joe at Dula Design. He was kind of in the middle of other projects, so it was like he was waiting for parts for one, so he started on mine. The VVT solenoids were acting up, so I had to run over there on, what day was that? Thursday or Friday last week, and drop off, or like basically hot swap them, and then got those working. And then, I mean, everything's running fine. Everything sounds good. He got like the initial like very basic get it running right, make sure everything's working the way it's supposed to, kind of get started on a situation. I'm 90 something % certain that once we get it back, I'm probably going to have to pull the front cover off and replace the cam intake gears, because they sound like the tractor, like the SR20s are notorious for, and that's because the cam sprockets are going bad. So as long as they don't stick or give him any issues during tuning, we're fine. And maybe they just never give us problems and we just run with it. But I know that sound. It's the sound that the SR20 always made. So
is this the variable actuator? Okay.
Yeah, it's the cam gear thing that gets or it's the sprocket that gets controlled by the VVT solenoid that's on the front of the intake cams. And like when they're going bad on the Nissans, and the SR20s were notorious for it, they just kind of sound like a tractor at idle. And just like,
kind of a rattle, or
just kind of like just I don't know how else to describe it besides it sounds like a tractor at idle. It never, like, mine only made noise in the SR20. It was never a problem that I'm aware of, or maybe that's why it never started. I don't know. But the second one, maybe that's why the second one never started. But so probably gonna have to swap those out at some point. But if they continue to not be a problem during tuning, we can at least get that going.
So worst case, you just don't have control over it, or does it like
it'll stick? So it'll
stick in one place, but it won't like cause like catastrophic.
Shouldn't. Because like I guess I'm not an expert, but my understanding is that like it shouldn't be so far of an advance or retard that it would interfere, and the pistons have cutouts, so that there should be enough that even if there is like a little bit of overlap, it's not a true interference. So as long as it's not stuck at whatever the advanced limit is.
Yeah, I would guess that it's probably not a super wide range that it moves through, I wouldn't think.
I don't think it is. So we'll see if it does get sticky or cause any sort of like hiccup or anything. Then I'll have to remove the front timing cover and get those replaced. So I mean, it's one of those things too. Like I have like, if they weren't $400 a piece, I would have just replaced them. But I had the two good ones that are in the engine already, like that I ran for the last few years, and then I got technically three other sets of them. So I took the one that looked the best, that wasn't currently inside an engine, and I was like, we'll just use this one. And I probably took the wrong one, just like the power steering pump.
There's a rule here.
Yep. So we'll see how it goes. I did get some disappointing news. So I apparently didn't ask enough questions when I was talking to Clark about what I wanted for my cam. So when I described it, I wanted as much torque and power as early in the... So basically, I wanted acceleration. I wanted the best cam that gives me the best acceleration. And that's what they gave me. Not thinking the fact that there's going to be a trade-off that if I get power quickly, I'm not going to have the same high-end rev limit as like the top-end ones. So my rev limit's only like 7,800, not 9,000. Which, if it does what I ask it to do, that's still a huge gain from what I had before, but not 9,000. But I also don't have to worry about my power steering pump eating itself anymore. So there's that.
And also the way that the bottom end has been parts selected and put together, that engine will, like, the bottom end of that thing should be just happy as all get out at 7,800 RPM rev limiter. So
yeah, and you can hear it, like it's kind of, like Clark was saying, the reason that you can't go higher than that with this cam is because of the profile and just like the harmonics of like what it would do to like the valves and stuff. So like there's nothing I can do to change like I can't just get beefier valves or anything, or like I already have what I need. But yeah, it won't be happy when running at above that. So which is fine. Like building it for 9,000 and then limiting it to 7,800, not a bad thing. So
yeah, the spec and so looking at the like the spring pressures on those was wild to us because we think in terms of pushrod engines.
sure.
So we're thinking of like the engine that was in the Camaro would have like 250 pound like installed pressure, because it's you know, the cam is in the block, and then it's got you know, however long push rod, and then a big rocker arm, and then this big, you know, over 2-inch valve hanging off the bottom of it, and it's got to control all that weight. So like your springs were like 42 pounds installed and like I think 80 pounds compressed. I might be getting yours and Matt's friend Danny's confused, but the fact that it's directly under the cam and it just has this, you know, valve that's very, very small compared to anything domestic wise. Like everything is just so different in terms of the specs for it. So, yeah, I would guess that something that they're gonna spin really, really hard. I would guess that there's more spring pressure, just because like I'm assuming that there's probably the risk of
I have the right springs.
For something that they're intending to turn that much higher RPM though.
Yeah, that's the springs I have.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes. Huh. Yeah, the springs aren't the problem. It's just
the profile of the lobe.
Yes,
I guess. Yeah.
Yep. So again, built everything with the assumption that I would spin it as high as it would possibly let me go, and so now that
we're still going to do that.
We're still Then now that the number isn't quite so high, I think everything will be a little bit more of a safety rating there, or a safety factor.
Yeah.
So,
and the other thing I had seen with inputting the flow numbers off of the stock DE heads, I think getting up into that RPM range, the heads were going to start to be a limiting factor flow wise too. So
I believe it.
You know, maybe this is something that down the road, if you want to change it up, how it makes power, that you could potentially, you know, go to a different cam profile and go to a set of ported heads, and then you might be something that would make more top end power than, you know, what this combo will. But
yeah, exactly, and that's basically what Clark was saying too. Like, there's nothing I have to change on the engine if I wanted to go slam one of the other cam sets in there that they have, and rev it to 9. Yep. Like if I'm not happy with this setup, that's the only thing that would really have to change. Like if I was chasing a higher like number, like horsepower number, then yeah, like for sure, maybe different heads, but. Yeah, if I'm chasing after the same goal that I'm currently chasing at, but I just want more RPM, that's all it would be. So, and a tune, of course. But I mean, Joe said without doing any sort of optimization, just like a quick, like one of his initial hits, the torque comes on faster, harder. Gets more power earlier in the power band. So like it's. Even just the numbers he was sending me without any sort of optimization was better than where we left off with the old engine, and there was nothing, and he wasn't even talking about the high RPM stuff. He was just talking about like how soon everything comes on. Yeah. So that's what I wanted.
Sweet. It's the year of the VQ, baby.
Yes, I hope so. But yeah, well, should have. I know he had the parts come in for that other car that was technically in front of it, so I haven't heard of updates in a couple days. So I assume that's what he's focusing on this week, and then as soon as that's gone, then this will be back in line. So far, I'm assuming no news is good news. So usually, if I wake up in the morning and there's like 30 messages from him, I know something's wrong. Fuck, today's gonna suck.
Like, well, today just got more expensive.
Yep. Yep. I did have one more thing before we jump to your thing. Bringing back everyone's favorite thing. I have new water.
Ooh.
I don't know. It's been in my fridge for a while, and I can't remember where I got it. I'm pretty sure I got it at Jungle Jim's International Market in Cincinnati. If you haven't been, you must go.
Is that like Trader Joe's?
No. So this kooky man, Jungle Jim, started like some international market years ago, and then now it's grown to this like gigantic. It's bigger than a Walmart, and has different sections for every part of the world. And like you could get, the first time we were there was literally a fucking shark just sitting on ice, like a whole shark, and you can get ostrich eggs for like $80, and it has like this crazy meat selection, and like if you drink, it's got this ridiculous international alcohol selection, like every type of alcohol, like, and like just some of the NA stuff that you can even get there is just all like just unreal. So like for my birthday this year, I didn't want to do anything except go to the sushi place down the road and Jungle Jim's. That was all I wanted.
Whenever it's enough of a destination to go there on your birthday, that's a pretty sweet market.
It's awesome. If we lived in Cincinnati, I would absolutely get all of my groceries there. Yeah, and it's the only place I'm aware of that you can get Orange Gina here, which is the orange soda that you get in Europe that I love.
Does it have high fructose corn syrup in it?
No, it's European. It's not complete garbage. It has actual orange pulp in it.
It's not actively poisoning you from the inside out.
No, it's not. No, we try to make it down there as often as we can because you get food that you can't really get anywhere else. At least not that I'm aware of here. But I think that's probably where I got this. So this is Woodstock brand organic banana water.
I've heard the word banana water used for different things besides that.
Yeah. So I was hoping it'd be like artificially banana flavored, and so I grabbed it and I figured this would be good content. So on the it's just a can, of course, and then it says "Say yellow to plant-powered hydration crafted from 2 heirloom bananas that deliver superior taste and a bunch of nutrients. It's the Peel Good beverage."
That sounds like real bananas, not artificial ones.
Yup, it's a lot of real bananas. It's got 5 key vitamin and minerals with B6, C, A, magnesium, manganese. It's got electrolytes. It's got what plants crave. It also has beneficial antioxidants, and it's an excellent source of... Oh, I already said that. So, it contains natural sediments of banana.
Oh, it's going to be chunky.
Yep, I have to shake it.
Oh.
So it's not even carbonated.
This is going to be
This
bad.
and this is what I don't like. Guess the calories.
It's either like 5 or like 350. I feel like there's no in between.
It's 80.
Oh, that can't be good.
It's banana water, but it's 80 calories.
Yeah, so I
19 grams of sugar. That's so many sugars.
I keep coming across things that I think like, oh, this will probably be something that like tastes good and isn't terrible for me. And then I take one drink of it and I get that aftertaste because I realize that it's stevia or sugar alcohol or whatever.
Yeah, so I had to have gotten it at Jungle Jim's because it is it is manufactured by Fruta Natural Company in Samkok, Pathumthani, Thailand. So it's a product of Thailand. So clearly I did not get it here. But it says USDA organic, so it's good for you.
It's made by authentic ladyboys.
All right. No going back now. That was a very uneventful open.
It looked like you muted it when you cracked the top open. I didn't.
There's no like
nothing happened.
It just opened. Nope.
It looked like in Garden State when they have the silent Velcro.
It's exactly what it was. All right, so it smells like banana bread.
Oh,
very much. Yep.
I'm a fan of banana bread.
It smells just like banana bread. It tastes just like banana bread.
Oh.
That's actually not bad. It's like drinking banana bread.
Now I'm jealous. I was ready to stand all high and mighty because I have a superior water to drink, but
I usually drink Topo Chicos normally, but yeah, I bought one of these for the podcast, and now tonight I get to drink banana bread. That's actually not bad at all, really.
I did get duped on this Topo. I put it in the fridge, and then a couple days later I went to get it out, and I could squeeze it while it was still sealed, and I was like, "That's not carbonated."
Damn it!
No, it wasn't. So I've been avoiding it, but it was the only one cold in there tonight. So here we are.
Happens. I'm out of bottles, glass bottles, so I have to drink from the cans. And I'll argue with anybody that the bottles are better.
I don't know that we have cans down here.
We don't have plastic bottles. All we have are cans and glass bottles.
Yeah, I'm super wasteful. We buy the 24-pack cases of the plastic bottles.
Oh, I buy the 24-pack case of the 12-pack case of the glass ones every time it's available. Otherwise, it's cans.
Cans. I can't.
The one with the mint.
Cans.
It's the hint of lime, but it's got like also a splash of mint in it, so it's almost like a mojito.
Oh, okay.
That one's in cans.
Yeah,
I think it's at Walmart.
I just like the straight up.
No flavor.
I do the hint of lime, but the bottles are either the glass bottles or the plastic ones. But
man, I could really do without the 19 grams of sugar, but this is really good. It tastes like banana bread, man. And not banana bread with fucking walnuts in it, like good banana bread. Like banana bread with cream cheese in it.
100% Adam would be like, this has no flavor. This tastes like crap.
It's delicious.
Why isn't it sweet? It's not sweet enough.
It's only got 19 grams of sugar. It's not enough. It needs to be 39.
It's not 45 plus.
I can't, legitimately, I can't drink like Mountain Dew or anything like that has that type of, I guess sweet tea is the only thing I could really do that with anymore. Everything else makes me feel gross. I've clearly changed.
I get the vitamin water energy every once in a while. And it's not sugar. Like, it's not super sugary. It has flavor to it, but it's not super sugary. And it's still like, it's a shock to me whenever I first crack it open still.
So on my way home, it closed. There was a KFC, and then on Fridays it was like half price.
KFC closed?
Yeah,
no way.
It was like brand new. It's only been there like a couple of years, and so they had on Friday, I don't know, basically in the window of time that I would drive from work to there to home, it was like half price lunches, so I could get like a whole meal for like $6. So I ate there like every Friday. And then they had the peach flavored Mountain Dew. And that's like the only soda I've drank in like a whole year.
Yeah, I'd still be a sucker for Baja Blast, but I would have to go to Taco Bell to get it, and that's not happening. So
I like Taco Bell.
Man, my body rejects it.
I said that about like White Castle too. Like I like White Castle, but it doesn't like me. But the last 2 times I've gone, it's been no problem. So I don't know. I've adjusted to the.
You've become a true Ohioan.
It's good.
Apparently, we're supposed to be getting a White Castle right down the road from here. So,
Oh, great. Well,
it cannot compare to the East Indianapolis White Castle that I had in 2005. But
no, I would imagine the one that's in the Colony is probably a little bit different.
it's going to be a little bit slightly different audience.
Oh, and our Huber Heights Buc-ee's opens in like 2 weeks.
Oh, snap.
It's literally the exit, or it's 2 exits before Dula, and I'm pretty pumped about it.
I wonder if they're going to import all of the brisket from Texas.
Probably. I told Joe, I was like, if you want to drag your feet for like 2 weeks, and then when that opens, I can just go over there and then grab some food. And when I pick up the Z, that'd be great. Just, I don't want to have to drive all the way here just for Buc-ee's. If I have another excuse, and it's less weird.
Yeah, the White Castle here is literally going to be like, I'll be able to ride my bike there, which is convenient because I'll want to ride the bike home to like shed all of the
get there as
sweat
quickly
all
as
the
possible.
salt and the beef out and the little grilled onions.
God, they're good though. They're so good.
So interestingly, it's going to be right next to the Gas Monkey Ice House, which is a restaurant owned by Richard Rawlings.
Yeah, has it been open for a while, or is it now just opening?
It's been there for a little while.
I swear
Honestly,
he was part of something that they tried to do that same thing in Sioux Falls at one point. I think it lasted like a month and a half or something.
so he had 2 different places down toward Dallas for several years, and then whoever he was in with licensing on the restaurant one got crossways with him and then renamed it to something else, and then it closed like 6 months later.
That sounds about right.
So Sunday on my way back from the Optima weekend,
Foreshadowing.
I come through here and there's like 1 million cars around there and people everywhere. And I'm like, what is going on? Because to flash back a little bit, there was a group doing cars and coffee events there, and another event that was doing like Sunday night meets at the Nebraska Furniture Mart, which is it's this one like giant shopping complex.
Oh, sure.
That Nebraska Furniture Mart is the anchor of. But so then the Colony Police were just like, no, we're not in the car meet business anymore. Like it's inviting crime. It's doing this. It's doing that. It's doing this. We don't want to mess with it anymore. We're not permitting it. And so like for the last 2 years, we haven't had any of those kinds of events. And then I drive by and there's like a whole bunch of show cars in the parking lot. And like every parking lot around this is completely full. Traffic is backed up down the service road. It's just jammed everywhere I can see over there. And I hit up my buddy that does car meets at their detailing supplies shop. And he was like, yeah, everybody in the car meet community around here is pissed because they didn't permit this or anything else. And it turns out that it's a like hype event for the Drifter movie that Sung Kang is producing.
Oh,
Yeah. And like he was there and like did a Q&A and stuff in the restaurant. And it was just, they just decided like, oh, we're just going to do this.
just like a pop-up event.
Yeah. And it, like literally like 1,000 cars.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
I'm guessing your local police loved that.
I can't. And then I came by last night and it wasn't as crazy, but there was a bunch of cars there again last night and they were doing a TX2K like
Pre-party.
VIP like kickoff party thing. I was like, geez.
Crazy. The closest
I'm right down the street from all this and I don't even realize it's happening until I'm driving by it.
you're out of that world, man.
I'm out of the loop apparently, but
The closest I got to that is there was a thing on the news that so a bunch of people from Columbus apparently drove down to Cincinnati for like a takeover type setup, and they arrested like 24 of them. So good.
nice. So I heard a bunch of stuff around TX2K last year because it moved up to Ennis to the Motorplex after the track in Houston shut down, that like all around Dallas, cops were like on high alert. Sure. And if you were driving something that had anything out of the ordinary on it, you were going to get profiled. Like there's a little like outlaw track in Grand Prairie called Yellow Belly that's been there forever. And like they were 1320 was there shooting like one of the nights during the week because people had like left some of the TX2K stuff and went there and just to hang out and race. They were arresting cars that were trying to get into the drag strip. Like they were like pulling people over and giving them tickets and like trying to impound cars that were trying to get into the drag strip.
Stupid.
Yeah. It was one of those like, I'm not going to think too much of this because it'll just make me mad. Like,
Yep. But you did get to do something cool though.
Yeah. So we did the Optima event. So Optima Ultimate Street Car Series, which we ran in back. The last event that we did with the Camaro was in 2021 in New Orleans.
Has it been that long?
Yeah. Yeah.
Holy cows, dude.
Yeah.
I was going to be like, yeah, that was only a couple of years ago.
Yeah, something like that. So we ran, the first one that we did was 2015 at Texas Motor Speedway. And then we ran at COTA in 2016 with them. And then 2017, 2018, and 2019, we like got into it real hard, did multiple events per year, went to the Invitational in Las Vegas, and it's still for me, like pound for pound, it's the coolest weekend event that I can go do with my like driving skill set, because it's autocross. They call it the Peak Performance Challenge now, where it's basically acceleration and braking. You go and stop in a box, and then the road course, and then that's all combined with a component where you have to go drive the car on the road, and then you go before a panel of judges, and they rate the car based on its actual street car manners plus just how nice it is overall. And it's still just, it's 2 full days of nonstop stuff going on, and it's 3 very different driving disciplines. And
is this all at the same venue usually? I mean,
yeah.
Obviously the driving on the road obviously wouldn't be at the same venue, but
yeah. So it's always so it's usually a track that has a good sized skid pad. Like New Orleans works really well for it. New Orleans has a huge road course, and then also it has a big dedicated skid pad that they do drifting and autocross on. For this one, it was at G2 Motorsports Park, which is a couple years old and just outside of Dallas. And they don't have a skid pad set up. So we did basically like a track cross style autocross and the speed stop on Saturday. So I took the Z, and then my dad took our 63 C10 to run. So I ran.
Hold on, one question before I'll let you get too far down. So the speed stop, is it like you're leaving like almost like a drag strip where you drive, you take off and then brake to a certain point, or how does that work?
So it's kind of evolved over the years. Like it used to be like way back when, like 2012, 2013, it would literally be like a 500-foot drag race straight, and then you had to stop in a box at the end of it.
Yeah, that's what I was picturing.
It's evolved over the years and kind of turned into kind of a mini autocross with a stop box at the end of it. So like this one, it was partially the same course that we went on for the autocross, but they kind of switched the directions that you had to go around the cones. And so you went like down, like it was like a left, a big sweeping right, and then straight down up to like I was on limiter and second gear going into the stop box.
Noise.
which is an altogether different thing. Like normally it was pretty like I want to say in the Camaro, I would typically be like 45 or 50 miles per. This was like 70 miles per hour.
All right.
You know, with no ABS and yeah. So we, like I said, we took the Z and the truck. My dad's always crewed for me whenever we were going in the Camaro, and he'd always kind of tentatively wanted to do one. He didn't really know, like, hadn't really, solidly made a plan to go do it. And then we saw this one on the calendar, and we had discussed taking the truck to New Orleans last year, and then this one worked out perfect where he could actually go and run the truck at this one. So he got to check a big check mark off of the list from having completely gone through and totally redone the truck suspension wise and drivetrain wise. So that was super cool. And then also it was super way back when we were drag racing, we tried to bracket race the Camaro and the truck at the same time, and it just never worked that well.
Like just too many moving parts and
yeah, I don't know what it was about it other than the fact that I suck as a drag racer, but
details.
Yeah. And this time, my buddy Daniel came out both days and was able to kind of, help us keep track of stuff and, be a gopher whenever we needed it and that kind of stuff. So that was super helpful to have a third set of hands. And it was just a blast for 2 days running both of them.
Nice.
And I was able, we were in different run groups, so I was able to go out and help him check tires and talk through how the truck was working on the autocross and the speed stop and stuff. So it was just a blast for 2 days, having both of them going and both of them for the most part not having any oddball issues. But
that makes it a lot nicer. So I assume there's a bunch of classes for this, or it's not just one class?
Yeah, so there is. Let me pull up the list.
I assume it's not SCCA autocross level of classes, but I assume there's some.
Yeah, not quite. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 main classes and then a class called Outlaw.
Oh, that's plenty.
So there's GTV, which is 1995 and older, I think, 4-seat, 2-seat cars. GTT, which is trucks. S, which is 2-seater sports cars, and I think all-wheel drive cars. L, which is anything under 3,200 pounds, stands for lights. C, which is compact, which is 4-cylinder and new for this year 6-cylinder stuff. So that opened up a place for the Z to go that kind of makes more sense than it having to run against Corvettes and Vipers, which is where it was previously.
Yeah.
And it's a either 4 or 6-cylinder naturally aspirated or power adder and under a certain wheelbase. And the Z just nips in under the wheelbase rule too. So
perfect.
Yeah. There was one flaw in it fitting into that class, which I'll talk about here in a little bit. But
okay.
And then GT, which is 4-seat modern sports cars, or Camaros, Mustangs, that kind of stuff. Sure. So, and then the Outlaw class is you can run big aero, you can do it's a lot more open, and they're not eligible for the overall ultimate street car title at the end of the year. And they don't have to do the design and engineering judging part of things. So, so we G2 is 40 minutes away for both of us from home.
Nice.
And we're we'll just drive back and forth. It's not that big a deal. And then we got to looking, and the driver's meeting on Saturday is at 7:15 in the morning.
Oof.
And then first car out on the speed or on the autocross is 8 o'clock. It's
geez, you guys ain't kidding around. I suppose it's a busy day though, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Sense.
So after some discussion, it was well, there's a motorhome sitting in the shop. We might as well just take the motorhome and sleep at the track, and everything will be much more pleasant that way. So I set an alarm for 6 o'clock, and then it's a leisurely morning until the driver's meeting to get everything ready to go. So. Did trackside camping, which is a little bit different than a grid life event. It's not not quite a party, but
It's almost like a WRL campground.
it was much more. Yeah, it was much more like a WRL thing. There was, we had a few different buddies that were staying there, so you kind of roam around and have a beer and have a few bench racing sessions, and then basically in bed by 9:30 or 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I was gonna say as soon as the sun went down.
Yeah. So like Friday you get there and just do tech and get the decals put on the cars and everything, which is an interesting endeavor whenever you have a 63 Chevy truck, because it's got trim that runs down the side of the door, and there's this like really big harsh body line that runs about 2/3 of the way up the door. The trim is below the body line, and the decal is like taller than the bottom of the door and the trim. So there was a lot of back and forth and a lot of like scheming on how we make this all work, and I ended up like customizing the decals to get the number like over to one corner where we could just kind of fit it into a spot on the door. It was kind of
it fits proper. Like it looks like it's supposed to be that way. It looks really good.
Yeah, it took a while to get there, but I was pretty happy with how it turned out.
So are the numbers separate from, like, you get the logo and then the numbers are handed out separately, and that's two different stickers, or did you have to like hack that up?
So yeah, they give you the numbers separately and you put them on there. There's a big black spot that's normally up in the center.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, that's not the numbers themselves, but like the area for it.
So it's all one piece originally, but you can just kind of snip it off and slide it over if you need to.
No, it looks like it was supposed to be that way. It looks good.
Yeah, so did that, and then got all checked in, and then like used to, the road rally would be like Saturday night. Or Saturday afternoon you would wrap up with autocross, and then everybody lines up and you go do the road rally. Well, the way the format's been the last few years, the track sessions have actually been like toward the end of the day because they've been running with SVRA.
Oh,
and
okay.
So that doesn't really allow for that to happen the way it used to. So the road rally was just go to Buc-ee's and then come back. Just sometime during the day.
That sounds like
Friday.
the perfect rally.
Yeah. Other than the fact that you think about the fact that you're sending like 60 some odd cars into the Buc-ee's at 2:00 on a Friday. What could go wrong?
That's not great timing.
Yeah. So, and it worked out because I needed, I had filled my car up fairly recently, but I had gone out and had to do like 3 or 4, full third gear data log pulls for the tuning. So I needed to put gas in it again. So, stopped and got gas. We just went back and just kind of hung out for the rest of the day. And, bright and early Saturday morning, get up and, so the autocross is like, G2 it runs clockwise normally.
Okay.
And so the track cross, they got us out and we were like actually gridded on the main like front straight. And then so the way the track's laid out, it can be run as the full course or it can be an east and a west course that are separate. And there's kind of like a 2-sided pit lane that goes up the middle of the track. And like we were running, like starting out on the west main straight and running counter to the direction that you would be running. And so it's like, you take off, and then it's a hard left-hand, like more than 90-degree corner, and then down into a super banked, it's kind of a tribute to the carousel at the Nürburgring corner.
Okay.
And that comes back around 180, and then a rundown, and then like a hard left and right, and then like down to a little loop that you have to go around that's actually out in runoff area for one of the alternate configurations, and then down through the finish. So the banked corner, it doesn't matter what you do, you can go harder. Like
there's grip there.
it no matter how like aggressive I thought I could get. And then the other factor here, which you don't normally have to worry about in an autocross, is there is no runoff anywhere at this track. It is pavement, a small strip of grass, and Armco, literally everywhere.
That's how they all are now, and I'm not the biggest fan for obvious reasons.
Yeah. So I start off like fairly conservative, and I'm also feeling out the car because I wholesale changed the suspension from the last time I drove it on a road course, with making a big swing at the front sway bar and then upping the rear spring rate.
How did that go?
So starting out in the morning, which everything was still a little bit cool, and I think the track, we were the second group out, so I think the track was like pretty cleaned off, but it was like a little bit of a push, like on initial turn in, where it would you could kind of feel it almost like dribble the front tires a little bit.
Okay.
And then it would like set, and then kind of, I think because I was kind of like I was overcompensating for the push, I think a little bit, I was also kind of inducing it to have a little bit of a snap oversteer like through the middle of the corner. But I think that was more driving than it was like car, like, the nature of the balance of it.
Sure.
So I did like 2 runs, and I'm thinking through. So we went up 2 times and got 3 runs each time for autocross, and then had a lunch break, and then did the same thing in the afternoon for the speed stop. So you get 6 looks at it with a break in the middle, between the third and the fourth. And I just like, not in a way that I haven't done in a really long time. I was just thinking through like granular level what the car was doing in the corner. I was like, okay, it kind of doesn't, like, it pushes the front a little bit, and then it takes a set, and then we get through the corner. Like, I think I want to soften so my Öhlins only have rebound adjustments. So like, I think I want to soften rear rebound and just kind of let it transfer weight a little bit faster to get it to the front, to plant the fronts. And then I referred to my trusty Penske shock manual that we have from the Camaro from way back when.
Yep.
Because it's got an awesome breakdown of this part of the corner, the car is doing this, here's what you need to do. And I've referred to that so many times that it's helped me think in those terms now. And I go back and like double check myself now. And I'm like, sure enough, it's like corner entry understeer. You can either soften front compression, which, well, no, I can't. I've only got single adjustables. Or you can loosen rear rebound. I'm like, okay, awesome. Did that, and then bumped the front tires down a pound and hucked it into the corner, the first turn. That would be my third run that morning, and the car just like set and went.
Oh, nice.
All right, we're like, we got ourselves a race car now. Like, it's responding the way that I want it to. We're like, we've accomplished something finally. So it turns out all those people on the internet that say biggest front bar possible, very little rear bar, and just send it. Yeah, that they had something going on.
Yeah, it worked for me too.
So, and I'm still on the Hotchkiss bar on the rear, and with it full soft, and I still think with a streetcar spring rate, I think it still needs a little bit stiffer than the stock one in the back. So
yeah, that makes sense.
And I don't think I'm prepared to go no rear bar.
Yeah, I'd be real curious what yours would do without being true rear coilovers. If you went no bar whatsoever.
Yeah. And I look at it and factor in the motion ratio of it and everything, but it still just doesn't. That spring sits so far in, it just has a hard time working the way that it is. I've fully
you're aware of
that. Yep. But so the cars that were in my class, there's two Miatas that are from the New Orleans area that are Troy and Dayton Delahousse that I knew were going to be fast. They're both turbo. They opened up, along with opening up to V6s in the compact class, they also opened up the aero rules a lot. It's basically wide ass open as far as aero too. And the idea was just the idea was to open it up and hopefully attract some cars that could be overall competitive in the compact class, because it's such a horsepower series with it being primarily American cars.
Right.
That if maybe we can open it up and give some more aero allowances in the compact class, and maybe that'll help. Flash forward a little bit, it definitely helped. Dayton whipped everyone's ass on the road course in an Indy Miata with a 2.3 EcoBoost swap in it and full Veris aero, and I think he ran the fastest lap of anybody that's ever let me rephrase. He set the 200 treadwear tire lap record for that track.
Sheesh.
I believe. So it was the two of them, and whenever I saw them on the entry list, I'm like, well, okay, hopefully I can podium behind them in at least one event for the weekend. And then there was also Darren Garvin in a 240Z, which has a kind of built L28 3-liter engine in it with some really cool, it's EFI, it's got a crank trigger ignition. The car is just super sorted. It's one of those that he's been driving the car for 15 years and has just worked through it, and the car is just composed and balanced, and it never looks out of sorts, and it is super quick. And then so after a couple runs on the autocross, I thought, well, maybe I can finish fourth and everything, and I'll take that. And then his wife, Jill, was driving a super clean, super clean Datsun 510.
Oh, yeah.
And then there was another guy, Benjamin Cowling, who I'd known from way back when in the old days of us all running Optima, who was driving a mostly stock BRZ. So it was a cool, full extent limit of the rules, big power Miata builds all the way down to, some more mild stuff, including mine.
It happens.
So I ended up, I was fourth in autocross, I think, behind Troy. I got within a tenth of Troy in the Miata on my last run,
nice.
Which I was super stoked on. All I really cared about was I want the car to feel good, I want it to be predictable, and I just want to find time and just get better as we go.
Yep.
And also drive clean and not hit anything, because
great goal. Great goal.
So I ended up a 10th behind Troy on the autocross, which I was super happy about. And then the speed stop, I was fighting with. I just kept locking it up. And I finally, in the second set of runs, I got under the hood on the balance bar on the brakes and just ran it over a little bit to the rear, because we were talking about it, and it was the car was just seemed like it was just standing up on the nose, and it would lock either one or both front tires, and it's not really doing much with the rear. So I tweaked the balance bar over to try to kick some more rear bias into it, and I don't know if I feel like I helped that some, and then I also think just my last run, I didn't try to just push it right until the last second like I had been, and was a little more controlled with the application of it. And it was the only run that I didn't fill the cockpit up with smoke. And ended up,
I guess the Datsun's probably where I was going to say. You're probably one of the few with no ABS, but then but both Datsuns don't.
He actually has an MK60 on the on the 240 also.
Yeah, you're at a bit of a disadvantage. Okay,
slightly, yeah. Which is, I always the last 2 years of running Optima, the MK60s were really starting to get more prominent,
Sure.
and some of the Ford setups too. So
Yep.
I was the one idiot still running full manual brakes and ABS, no ABS in that scenario. And so 5 years later, I'm still doing it. It's just with a newer car.
I love your stubbornness. I applaud it.
Yeah. So on the speed stop, Darren ended up, he had, I think, 3 runs that were faster than mine, but he hit the cone in the box on all 3 of them. So I ended up taking an ugly podium on that one. Which,
Podium's a podium.
yeah, I checked my little box. I was like, I'm not, like, if this was a game of pool, I would probably just go ahead and let you take the next shot. But I'm not going to pull the ball back out of the pocket, though.
Exactly.
And then so going into Sunday, it was like we get the Jimmy says in the driver's meeting Sunday morning, fear of God. Like, this place will bite. It's fast. It's technical. It has 20 turns. The walls are right there. And then also, aside from the walls being right there, they didn't get a lot of grass planted. Well, so everywhere that, like on the inside of turns where water runs off, there's like foot deep trenches.
Oh shit.
Where the water runs through. So like there is no, like,
Don't leave the surface.
We saw right out of the gate on the autocross, there was a guy that's got a late second gen Camaro that he got a little bit crossed up coming through the banked turn, and the car just kind of lost the back end and just turned down and just wiped off. He had a like the Z28 style fairing on the front and then a splitter, and it just
Gone.
He turned down onto the grass just a little bit, and it shouldn't have been anything big, and it just cleaned off the bottom of the nose of this poor car.
I remember when we did our first test day with the mid of TT guys, and we were at RPM. I think it was one of the first of test days that they were doing after the flood, and it was kind of that same thing, like, don't leave the surface.
Yeah,
because
like
Matt dipped a toe or dipped a wheel in an area that was always a pretty safe runoff area. I think it would be turn 5. It's been a long time since I've been there. We'll say 5 or 6 or 5. We'll say 5. And yeah, same thing. Just dropped the wheel off, ripped the whole front splitter off, part of his bumper. It was crazy amount of damage for just like kind of dipping a toe off.
Yeah. So Saturday night we got to go out and walk the track. So we walked we had walked kind of the back half of it on Friday night as it was getting dark. And then figured out whenever we were way out in the middle of nowhere on the back corner of this place that there's no moon tonight and it's dark as hell out here. I made the joke in our group chat that if this was a grid life, the headline act was going to be raccoon and coyote. No, wait, that's just a raccoon and a coyote over there.
Just a regular raccoon and a coyote.
So the second night we walked the first half of it, and yeah, we're looking. And just everywhere you look, there's just a giant trench
hazard
through the middle of the yeah. And I told myself right then, like, all right, we're going out. We're gonna drive with intention. We're gonna drive hard.
We're driving the car home.
Yeah, we're not doing what I've had a bad habit of doing lately, which is like putting 2 tires over the curb or sliding sideways off the curb or pushing it a little bit deep and letting it get crossed up. And then, yeah, like, so.
We're not taking the Aceto line today.
No. So, well, and then the other funny part of this is I've hit in the Aceto map, I've hit every wall at this place like 7 times.
Well, of course.
That's
why you sim.
Yeah. But the cool thing about the sim is they don't have the walls set up as obstacles on the map, so you can just drive through it and then drive back. So first session, which we get to do orientation laps, so we go out and do like 2 laps, just like 70 miles per hour. And then, so the added wrinkle of this Sunday where we have 6 total sessions that start, I think like the first timed session was 9:00.
And you're talking 20-minute sessions.
20-minute sessions. It is three run groups, and they're 20-minute sessions. So you're up.
Oh shit! Every hour.
Yeah. I'm up my grid call is at 10 past the hour every hour except for the noon hour. Like we are hoofing it.
Moving, man.
Yeah. Which is awesome. Like I haven't done that in a long time. Like
we had one event like that a couple years ago in Mid-Ev. It was the same thing. It was like just enough people showed up that it was 3 classes, and it was just boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. And this was like 60 cars total. So 3-mile track with 20 cars per group. I barely saw it was a private track day for every one of us. It was pretty cool.
Perfect.
But you also, the D&E judging was open on Sunday only also. So it was like, okay, I gotta work out where I fit going to get judged in.
So you bring it to them and then they judge you, or it's okay?
Yeah, it's kind of like a tech line essentially, and you get 4 minutes to talk. It ended up taking like 6 minutes or something like that for a car to get through. So like you can go over there and look and see like, okay, there's 5 cars. That's at least 30 to 40 minutes total if I get in it right now. I just happened to glance down at because it wasn't supposed to open until 9. I get back off the orientation labs. I just happened to glance down at my watch. D&E's open. Okay. So my grid call's at 9:10. It's 8:43 right now. I'm like, I throw the detailer in a rag in the car and make sure I've got all my gear and drive over there. And there's like 3 cars in line in front of me. So I get up there, start in on because I've got notes on everything because you know the categories that they judge you on. So you just talk about them in order of that and like tell the judges the things that they can't see. You know, like why is this better than what it was stock essentially? And I'm going down my list and I get the text pops up, yellow group to grid, like in the middle of me talking. I get done with my thing like right at my 4-minute mark. They're like, oh, do you guys have any more questions for him? And they're like, no, I think we're good. And I'm like, thanks very much. As I'm like slamming the hood down and I drive out of the garage that the D&E is in and pull around the corner of it, and they wave me into grid, and I'm like backing into my spot at the 3-minute call. And I was like, I was writing it off. I was going to miss a session to get the judging done. Like it was just, there's no way this is going to work out. And I was so like, this is the best timing I've had of anything in forever.
Oh, that's perfect.
I was so fired up whenever I got on track, and then promptly went out and like on my second hot lap, there's like you've got main straight, fast right, that's kind of more than 90, and then kind of a long run down into a spot where you kind of brake, and then it's kind of like a 45 degree, and then you brake again for a tight. Like it's kind of a double apex thing.
Okay.
And like I think it was my second lap or maybe my third. I do my main braking for that double apex, and then I like roll back in some throttle because that's what I did in the MX-5 Cup car a lot.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah. And then I brake for the second part of it, and I'm kind of already turning in a little bit, and the back end just comes out. And I look at the curbing and the grass and the ruts in the grass and the dirt, and I go, nope, that's not happening. And I just look back over at the apex and I'm like, some way this car is getting over there. It's not touching that over there. No, sir.
It's the exact opposite of fixation. You're just like, no, we're completely avoiding that.
Yeah, I was fixated on where we needed to go, not where I was afraid we were going.
By any means necessary.
And I did because it kind of like it was kind of like a tank slapper kind of thing. And I moved the wheel like 5 different times, and it finally scrubbed off enough speed that it finally turned and went, and then kind of slid the back end around the apex, and I just tracked out to the curbing and went on with my day. And
Perfect.
The because they gridded us based on our autocross times, and then so I go to line up, and there's a C7 right behind me.
Son of a bitch.
And I'm like, we might run similar times out here on the old road course, but we're gonna do it very differently.
Yup.
And he ended up being like a couple seconds faster than me. So, and I had been kind of like yo-yoing with him. He would catch up to me, and then we would get in a technical spot. And I was maintaining more speed through the corners, and after I slid it, I pointed him and the car behind him by me, and was like, okay, I got free track all over the place. We're just gonna collect ourselves, and then just did the same thing I did on the autocross. Just kept sneaking up on it, and
Because they don't. Or is it like best run of the day, or is it every session counts, or I guess how's that all?
so their normal format, they usually only have 2 timed sessions in the events that they're sharing with SVRA, and it's best lap from both sessions.
Okay.
Combined. So the way they did it just as best of the morning, best of the afternoon combined. So I got down to like I think what was, so yeah, in the morning I got down to a 2:29.7.
How long is this track?
3.1 miles.
Okay. Dang.
But it's fat. Like,
Yeah.
I was over 100 in like 5 spots.
Jeez. No, I'm looking at the cookie to try to familiarize myself as to where the things are.
Yeah. So we like I best lap was the last lap going into lunch break in the morning, and I'm like, okay, like I'm feeling good. Go out for the 4th session and cut another like couple tenths off of it, or I guess like 5. Yeah, I cut another like half second off of it, and it's purely just like brake a little bit later, a little bit less, and just upping my min speeds a little bit, and just trying to focus on just running clean lines and no chances. Just
good clean
solid,
laps. Yep.
Smooth, clean laps. The car is under control. And then we've been hearing all weekend long that there's going to be this crazy wind come in with this cold front. And between the 4th and the 5th session, the wind shifts out of the north. It had already been blowing like crazy, but it shifts out of the north, and it's blowing 30 and gusting like 40 probably. And then weird stuff starts happening on track. Like there's one of our friends has an AA Arcudo with like a Hellcat motor in it, and he windowed the block in it. There's another friend that has an S10 that's got a Camaro IRS in the back of it, and it shucked the like inner CV joint out of it to the point that like you could hear it from a good distance away going
Shit.
and then exiting the truck. There was just like all kinds of weird stuff starts happening, and the wind's blowing like crazy, and I'm like, there's all kinds of signs telling me we should probably just hang it up. Like, we should probably be happy
Call
with
it a day.
that half a second that we found in that other session, and that's a good time to put down, and we'll be good. Because I was like 3.5 seconds behind Darren in the 240, and then not even like way far away from the Del Huses. So it's like I can probably be convinced to just kind of wrap it up, but also that north wind is going to be like nitrous on that one straight over there that runs north and south.
Yep. It's a nice little boost you got there.
Yeah. So we'll just go feel it out. And then on my outlap in that session, I looked down at the speedometer right before I hit the brakes at the end of that straight, and I was going faster than what I was on a normal lap.
Okay, we're going for it.
This is going to be wild. And so come around through that lap and like carried the braking a little bit too far into like turn 2 and the car slides.
Oh, shoot.
But then I look over at the predictive as I'm going through the apex of the corner, and it's green.
Fuck yeah, let's go.
Okay. And then like got through the first half of the lap, and I was like 0.2 up on what the lap from the session before, and told myself, all right, the rest of this lap is not, it's just about like, there's a double apex, like 85 mile an hour min speed corner that's downhill and like has some camber to it. Also, the runoff at the end of it is like a curb and then like 18 inches of grass and then a wall.
Yep.
No pressure.
It's fine.
So it's like going down the back straight, I was like, we're getting a better lap, and it starts right now. And that hill, the braking for it, you kind of go over a crest, and the 5 is on the front side of the crest. And then the 4 and the 3 and the 2 are on the back side of it. And I had been braking at the 5 just because it's blind and it's fast. The car's doing it's the fastest part of the track.
Sure.
So I push it to 4 and then turn in, the car sets, and I just roll right back into the throttle in 4th gear and power through the apexes of it. And we're like 0.6 or 0.7 or 0.8 up. Okay. And then at the end of that, there's another like pretty fast turn that goes kind of downhill. So we'll push a little bit further into that, and then a little bit less before we let up. And now we're like 0.9, possibly over a second in like 3 corners.
Amazing.
Okay. Now we just have to not screw this up.
Oh, that's the thought you can't have.
Yeah. So that goes into, there's like it's a right, left, right, almost like autocross style. Uphill. It's got a really cool flow to it. It feels really weird on the sim, and then it was super fun in real life. And it's like downshift to 3rd, get through the first 2, and then the last one is slow enough that I downshift to 2nd and track out, and it's up against the second, like the east half of the pit wall. And so you track out and you're right up next to this like 5 foot tall concrete wall, and the VQ is just reverberating through the cabin in my ears. And I think I was a little bit, it lost a little bit of time through there. And then come through, there's like a 45-degree left and then a short run down. And then on the short run down, there's the cut throughs for the alternate configurations of the track that had cones on them. The wind's blowing so hard that the cones are laying in the middle of the track. So tweak the line a little bit, because it's not like an autocross. You can't stop and wave your hand. They won't come out and pick them up.
No.
And I ended up like right at a second under what I had done before.
Nice.
By the time I got back around to start finish, and was just like beating on the steering wheel, like super pumped. And that was like, okay, we're done. Yep. That's what
we did it.
Everything's happy. We found a lap that's like, it was a 2:28.2. I was like, I want a 28 something, and a 28.2 was even better. Yep. I was only 19 seconds behind Dayton, who won the class, but
that's. Wait, 19 seconds for so it's accumulation of the whole day, or how's that?
No, that's single lap time. I was 19 seconds off of what he ran. He ran a 2:09.
Holy cows!
Yes,
that is moving.
So he was fastest overall on the road course. I think he was like second fastest on the speed stop, and let's see, he was like 7th fastest on the autocross. So. Wow. I think which he's an outlier. He's one of those
aliens.
He's been driving on a road course since I think possibly before he even had a driver's license. So, but he's also super cool, and they were super chill. So, so yeah, I think they succeeded, at least in this case, of making the compact class something that can be, something to be talked about overall. But
nice.
So yeah, overall the car like just took everything I threw at it, it was super predictable and just a blast to drive. And it actually got some compliments over it, not just being a ratty old track car like I think it is in my brain.
No, yours is nice. Like I look at mine and I look at yours. I'm like, man, this is really nice.
So I'd worked like 2 weekends before I like got the degreaser out, like degreased up on the subframe where it kicks fluid out of the diff vent, and like
Yep.
I had done a whole bunch of stuff that I was like, I don't think this really matters for the D&E of it, but I just want the car to be clean again for the first time in a long time. Like every time I mess with it, my arms end up black from my elbows down, and just so.
Yeah, when I pulled the engine out of mine for the swap, it was just like, you know what? I'm gonna spend an afternoon just like degreasing all of this shit and like completely redoing all the wiring, like how everything ran. And I was, again, it's like nobody notices it but me. But I was so satisfied when it was all done.
Yeah, I spent a couple different times just like standing out there leaning up against my workbench in the garage with the hood open on the car and just going like, dang,
It's so clean.
like this thing's like, I've had it. The Saturday marked 15 years that I've had that car, like to the day.
Time flies, man.
I've put just under 100,000 miles on it. It had a little under 30 whenever I got it. It's at 127 now.
Nice.
And it's a 2008 model, but it's still like, after I degreased all of the stuff under the hood and just got all the dust off of it and everything, I was like, it looks like newish.
Yeah, it's no, it shined up like a pretty penny, man. Like you sent that picture of after you got the under the hood stuff done. I was just like, man, that looks like ready for bring a trailer type photos. You know what I mean? Like that was clean.
$9,000 best offer. But it's funny, like I've had people like come up and like ask questions about it a couple of times lately, like it's like an old car. Like they ask questions about it more like it's an old car, and it's partially because like it is getting older now,
Sure.
but also because like the general Z that you see out there getting
good.
used
It's not good.
has been used up. So,
Yep.
but and then so on my dad's side of it, he kept getting faster through all the autocross runs. I kept going over and talking through with him, and like we tweaked the shocks a few times, and then his quickest run was his last run, and then the same on the speed stop.
Nice.
We were tweaking the brake bias because it's like 63% front weight bias, I think. So realistically, it doesn't need much of anything in the way of rear brakes.
No.
And to the point that we have a Willwood adjustable, along with it's got a balance bar pedal set up in it,
Yep.
but we've also got a separate bias adjuster on the rears. And was like, let's pull a little bit more out of it. And I got under the hood and I was like, it went like an eighth of a turn and then it stopped. And I think we figured out that we had tightened the rebound on the rear shocks like all the way down. And that was part of what it was. It was just snatching the rear tires up.
Yep.
It was snatching all the weight away from them. So his second session, we got them back to the range that we wanted them on, and it quit locking the rears up so bad.
Nice.
And then he did the same thing in speed stop. He just kept getting quicker. So, and then on the road course, he was wigged out. We had never had the truck on an actual road course. We've autocrossed it a ton, but hadn't had it out on a big track yet. So he was a little bit kind of completely freaked out about it.
Yeah, don't blame him.
And then I guess he went out for orientation laps and then went out for the first session and did. I think he ran basically the full session the first session, but there was a noise coming from the front, and came in and pulled a wheel off of it and figured out that the lower ball joint on the passenger side had like backed the nut off of it somehow, which really shouldn't be possible because it's got a cotter pin through it, and also like it just shouldn't be a thing.
Do you use Castle nuts for that?
Yeah, they have Castle nuts.
Okay.
They've got a cotter pin through it. It had sheared the cotter pin.
Jeez.
Which was like kind of puzzling at the time. And so the front suspension on it it's a package from No Limit Engineering. It's like we like the overall design of it. Everything seems like Rob's put a lot of work into it. It's on a ton of different trucks. We got a little bit different combo than what most of the people normally do as far as what the uprights or the knuckles are on it. And it's a knuckle from Speed Tech that's aluminum. And that kind of like changes what the ball joints and the arm lengths and some other different things are. So, sure. But we are pretty sure that the lower ball joints had been greased at some point. Like the uppers had been greased. He was pretty sure he's greased the lowers at least once or twice.
Sure.
So he went out for like an orientation lap that ended up setting a time of like 14 minutes or something like that for him.
Okay.
But it got a time on the board for the afternoon session, which gave him enough points that he ended up on the podium for the class.
Hell yeah.
So he ended up third in the truck class. And he went out and just did the orientation lap, and it was like it's making like clickety clack noises on the bottom of the front suspension. He's like, I'm good, I'm done. So he got it, tore into it last night, and found that the driver's side ball joint, which was not the one that was making the noise, goes like clink, clink, clink up and down like a quarter of an inch inside the housing.
Oh shit!
Like the actual like. So the ball joint had like worn inside of the housing, and those ball joints were basically dry, and they were kind of like, I guess, locking up under load, and then whenever you would steer, it was loosening the nut.
Oh man.
And so that's how it sheared the cotter pin on the other one. And yeah. So
good thing you caught that.
Yeah, good thing. It's one of those that like it's telling me something, and it's telling me that we probably should call this off.
Yep.
I heard a noise in the front of mine, and I like got it up in the air, and I just did GK Tech's spherical sway bar end links.
Oh yeah.
And I found that the jam nut on that was kind of loose, and I was like, that's probably it, and we just went right back out there. Yeah. We'll figure it out later.
Yeah, that'd make a noise, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was quieter the next time. It was still making the noise, but it was quieter.
Yeah, well, as long as if it's slowly getting better, then we're fine.
Yeah, something like that. But
and if it magically disappears, then we should be concerned.
Yeah. So, yeah, and then like the wind was blowing like crazy, and he had to drive a motorhome home. So they started doing trophies at like 4:15, 4:30-ish, and we were all loaded up, and I was like, we're going to get home before this gets any crazier. And then I'm still kicking myself because he podiumed, and he would have been able to stand up in front of everybody and celebrate it. And I'm like, I'm still really annoyed that we didn't stick around for it. But so that it kind of continued a funny tradition, because the first one we ever did in 2015, I had no expectation going into it at all, and I ended up third in the vintage class.
Nice.
Got to stand up on the podium, so I was super excited for him. He had a blast all weekend, and the truck did, other than the
ball joint.
Other than needing to replace the ball joints, the truck did awesome too. So, and it's hilarious to watch it go down or go around a road course.
Yeah, I would imagine that's. It's like, a bit of a trip.
The wall on the pit lane is tall enough that you would only see just a sliver of the cars as they would go by, and then you would see the whole cab. You see the whole top of the window. I was like, oh, there he is. There he goes.
Do you guys plan on doing more of these, or is this kind of a one-off deal this for now?
So they're running New Orleans again this year, but it's the 10th of April, so we got too much other stuff going on this year to try to make another one. But and then I think the rest of the events for the year. So this one ended up being a standalone event for them at G2.
Oh, nice.
Where we weren't having to share track time with anybody else. So they had a local group do a car show both on Saturday and Sunday. So there was a good amount of show cars and like food trucks, and like it drew a pretty good spectator crowd on Saturday.
Nice.
And we had several of our friends came out and just hung out for a few hours during the day at different times. So it was just an absolutely awesome day on Saturday.
Sounds super fun.
Yeah, just hanging out with buddies, and Jen brought Connor, and just like we just had a trailer with 5 kids in it at one point, which was just awesome. So, and then it was super cool. So Jimmy Day, that runs the series, that kind of created the whole thing, co-created it, I guess, with another guy named Wally. Jimmy's always at the front gate or the entrance to the paddock whenever you get there on Friday on load-in day. And my dad had got there a few minutes before me, and he rolled up to the window and shook my hand and was like, "Man, it's good to have you back." And that just right out of the gate, I just felt
tone. Yeah.
So like it felt like my dad coined, my dad just said it felt like coming back home.
Yep.
Just, and everybody around the paddock is just, it's just chill and friendly, and coming up and just looking at other people's cars and, what have you done with this? What do you do with this? That kind of stuff. So it's just it's a super cool group. And, we'd been away from it for 5 years, but it's the same 2 guys running tech. It's the same guy that's the race director. It's the same, it's all the same people that we've seen since we started doing it are all still there, which tells me, they take care of their people.
Yep.
And,
the people that are doing it are still wanting to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was super, super cool to be back, and it was some good motivation to actually get off my butt and get up there and work on a Camaro some too. So
nice.
But it was a good reward for how much I've beat my head against the wall with that damn white car, and like to finally get out, and like the things I've done to it have they felt like they worked for once. Like through all the years I've messed with it, just kind of in between doing stuff with the truck and the car and the whatever else, like it's always just got this half-ass attempt at trying to make it into a competent vehicle. And it was super cool to just dive into a corner and not be like, oh, is it going to kill me? Is it going to try to kill me? Nope. Okay, cool.
So when does it get coilovers and a wing and So
the wing thing is probably the next step. I feel I didn't want to do it with the stock springs that came with the Olins, because I knew for sure they were too soft.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I feel like what I've got on it now, it's a linear rate, and it's like 50 pounds stiffer than what the stiffest part of the progressive springs was. I feel like it could handle an extra 100 pounds on it now without it getting real ugly.
Yep.
And if nothing else, I've got a baseline now for like, okay, I know we could step it up, 50 pounds or something like that, both front and rear, if we do a splitter and a wing or something like that. But I kind of want to go just get some more seat time in it now, and just go like, I don't know, maybe do back-to-back weekends and not want to sell it.
That's a good place to be.
So I think next up, there's SCCA's got their national tour weekend at Eagles Canyon in May.
Nice.
And I'm not super hot on doing their time trial program, but they have on Sunday they have a track night like special edition thing that for like $200 you can go out and get 3 sessions at Eagles Canyon. So I'll probably end up doing that and just go out and just have some fun time sessions with some buddies and kind of go from there. But
Nice.
But so the other really random thing that I got hit with right out of the gate on Friday, there's a company called Operational Speed Supply that is a sponsor of the series, and I didn't even realize that this was a thing. They do fantasy team picks for these events.
Okay.
And so each class they go through and essentially like rank the people that are in it and give them dollar values. And you build a team with like one person from each class, and you have to spend like $180 or less.
Yeah, so it's fantasy football with what do they call that? Bid with bid style drafting.
Yeah.
Kind of.
And it works like the fantasy F1 to a point. Sure. And then like the front runner guy is like defending national champion guy in the class is like $40. So there would be a couple of guys that'd be 40, and then like 30, 20, and then everyone else is 10. Well, right out of the gate, Austin Barnes, who is the defending overall champion, we've known, going back to our days in it, he comes up and is like, "Hey, how are you guys doing? I am so pumped for my fantasy picks. I got both of you. You were an awesome value at $10." And I'm like, "Oh my God." Like, first of all, what are you talking about? And second of all, you do realize I haven't done this for like 5 years. So I hope you didn't put like too much stock on my $10. And then I have like 4 other people come up to me and talk about it, both on Friday and Saturday. That's how amazing. Excited they were to see my name, and it was only $10. And I'm just like, oh God.
That's just great value, man. And then your dad gets a podium and proves him right.
Yeah. And so I didn't hear from anybody to see if I won them anything or screwed them out of anything after the announcement of who won on Monday. But
that's fun.
I had to laugh. So one of the pictures in there, after the deals had come out, they put out percentages of like who had been taken in each class, and like Chris Smith, who runs in the vintage class, had like 56% or something, because he was if the car held together, like he was going to rake in massive points.
Right.
And a couple of others were in the 40s. And then like you get to GTC, and because I'm the name that they recognize and it's only $10, I'm like 44% of it. I was like, it caught me completely out of left field right out of the gate.
What is going on?
Yeah. I was over talking to a couple of them, and Jimmy that runs the series was there, and I was like, so there's a fantasy thing? I'm way out of the loop.
You're the ringer, man.
So yeah, it cracked me up to no end for like basically 3 full days. Yeah. And then, which I ended up, so you score based on your finish overall in each of the different segments. So like first place is 100 points and then on down.
Sure.
So my best finish in anything, I was 19th on the road course, which I always, it was kind of the same thing I would always do in the Camaro. I would go into it thinking like, we got to make our nut in the autocross, because I'm down on power. I'm not as ballsy as some of these other guys or whatever. And then our best finish would end up being the road course every time. So I was 19th in the road course, and then like 24th or 25th, doesn't matter, and the autocross and the speed stop both. So
nice. That's good value. That is really good value.
So out of 500 points, I got 408 points. So I guess it ended up being kind of a decent value for $10.
That would be your best. That would be a great value.
So ended up 4th in class and like 19th overall, which is like
Pretty damn good, man.
for the power level that car has at that track and everything else, I was pretty pumped with where it finished up, and more so just about how everything felt and how the car performed through the weekend. It was just it pretty well went exactly like I would have wanted it to, but starting with the fact that it didn't touch grass.
Which is a great place to start. Absolutely. No, I mean, it sounded like just fun weekend all around. So I wish you weren't all the way in Texas or me all the way in Ohio so I could have partaken. That sounds like fun.
Yeah. It's a super, driving into the sim, I wasn't sure what I would think of it. And then like just on the orientation laps, I was like, man, this place is just fun. Like it's a little bit point and shoot, but it's also like, it's got, like a couple technical spots, and then there's a couple that you just need to man up and just huck it in and go. And yeah, the double apex between the two long straights that's downhill with camber, and you enter it in 4th gear. Yeah, that's a proper racetrack.
Yeah, definitely.
It could have a little bit more runoff on the exit of the.
It would be nice if you had the opportunity to catch yourself without hitting the wall. Yes.
Yeah. It could look a little bit less like the kink on the exit, but
yeah, that'd be all right.
But yeah, I went into it going like this will probably be my one time to run here, and that'll be good. But I kind of did the same thing that I did at Coda of like, man, I
should go back.
I feel pretty good about that lap, and also there was another. My optimal was another like 1.2 seconds, because my best first and second sector were in other sessions. Like I was off through the first half of the lap and then just put it together for the second half. So yeah. And then I go watch a video of a there's a local guy here with an E92 M3 that has run like a 215 there, and it just looks like nothing at all. And I'm like, what are we doing? Why are we messing with this stupid car? Why don't we just go buy an M3 and be done with it? But
yeah, I get that.
Or a Corvette.
Just get a Corvette, be done with it.
But yep. In summary, 5 years later, it's still just as fun as it was.
Yep.
I looked at Daniel at one point, and I don't remember if it was Saturday afternoon or Sunday, I said, what's it like watching somebody that hasn't done heroin for 5 years shove a needle in their arm? He just kind of laughed. He's like, yeah,
welcome back.
That's a good summary. Yeah.
Yep. Well, Year of the VQ is off to a good start, I'll say.
Yeah. Yep. Well, and then like we were parked next to Darren and Jill that had the 240 and the 510, and then there was a guy named Seth with them that had a Genesis Coupe, which is essentially like, the more we talked, I was like, that car is just a G37. Like it's Hyundai like took the G37 into their design lab and was like, yeah, we're going to make this car, but it's going to have a little wing on the front instead of the Infiniti logo.
Yep.
Like we were talking through all of the things that he's had to work through on it, and I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds familiar. Yep, that sounds familiar. Yeah,
it's the same car.
yeah, and it was cool. He was running pretty similar times to mine, so we were always, anytime we would come back in, it was like, yeah, what'd you get down to? So that was
nice.
That was a fun back and forth all weekend too. So.
Yeah, it's fun when you're competing with people that are fun to compete with. So you're pushing each other, but you're having a good time about it.
Yeah. So it had been a long time since I was coming through the finish line on something and getting back to the trailer and my hands shaking. Like, not because I scared the crap out of myself,
right?
But because I was like just pumped.
Yep.
Like, yep. I'm still a sucker for this, apparently. So.
Yeah. Heroin's a hell of a drug, man.
Mm-hmm. but yeah, that was my this was my big event for the year. So I don't know what we're doing for the rest of the summer now.
Get it out of the way early.
Yep, I literally haven't looked very far past. Probably do that track night and then slot some more things in. I probably might run some of the lap attack stuff with the local the Apex HPDE group, and then try to go take some pictures at Watkins Glen.
There you go. Yeah, drive Watkins Glen. That's what you should do.
Yep. Who's up for driving my car up there for me?
It's no, that do it for the content.
Man, that drive looks.
That'd be brutal.
Horrendous. Matt is going to do it, and Matt is a crazy person. But yeah, Matt can also work on the road, so that helps.
Yeah, he's fine. Yeah, so that's not that far of a drive for me. So I'm not committing to anything yet, though. I'm waiting to get the car back, and then there's some test days at Mid-Ohio or Gingerman in April and May, and then that's kind of gauging how the year goes, I guess. So I don't know. Probably do Mid-Ohio, late April, early May. So
man,
then I'll start committing to things.
I'm excited.
Me too.
I'm excited for both of our cars.
Yes, I am too. Actually,
this is like opening day of baseball. It's just all up here. It's all uphill.
All positive. Yep. All potential.
Don't look at the pitching staff. Don't look at this. Don't look at that.
No.
It's just all positive.
Yep. Well, I mean, I was gonna say, like, it's tomorrow is the first day of March Madness, so there's nothing but potential there.
Oh man.
Yeah. But I think we did a show.
Yeah. Oh, and then my cars are fun add-on before we wrap up.
Okay.
I drove it to work today. Smooth sailing all the way to work.
Dang.
Driving it back home. This is like 50 miles each way. I've put over 100 miles on the car since the last version of the tune got loaded.
Yep.
On the way home, about halfway down, check engine light comes on.
God damn it. Did you see what the code was?
Yep.
What's the code?
It's catalytic converter
efficiency. Classic.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter. Yeah. Just get a little just get a little spacer thing and push the second sensor out and it's fine.
They're already out.
Oh shit.
ISR includes an elbow that puts it like 4 inches out of the
it puts
pipe.
it way up there, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I don't know what the answer is. It didn't come on while those were loose.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Whenever I got it in the air to nut and bolt it, I figured out that both of them were loose at the exhaust, like at the bung on the exhaust. So I don't know if I just need to induce a little bit of an exhaust leak there, or what my
that I'm not sure. I wonder. You'd think you could like shut that code off. I know you could.
HP tuners won't do it.
I knew you could shut off some with uprep, but I don't know if that's one of them.
Yeah, and Z1 specifically says that if you have a check engine light, this tune will not change that. And turns out, yeah, I guess they were right.
They're not lying.
So,
well, that's annoying.
I don't know what to do with it, and my registration's up, so I need to. I guess I'm going to go find out in the next couple weeks if the inspection thing can tell how long it's been since a code's been cleared or not.
So if they reject your inspection, does that turn into a full-blown race car? Like I'm trying to decide what am I cheering for here.
Well, the alternative is that I do have an address that doesn't require an emissions test that it could possibly permanently relocate to. Allegedly. I might sell it to my dad.
Not the worst.
And it can live up there in the boonies where they don't care if you pollute the earth. So yeah, that was
we'll keep that in your back pocket.
Yeah, that was my yay boo for the weekend. Apparently, if you just drive the dog shit out of it, it doesn't care.
Yeah, it's fine, but it was like on the road.
Yeah, if you cruise it down the highway, it gets a little upset. So,
well, the Sonic will do that. Not that specifically, but because it's a crappy little turbo car. So, like, if I'm just sitting at the same speed for like a long time on the interstate, and I think it's because of the that intake evap valve thing that it does. I think that's failing. So like it'll sit there, and then all of a sudden your check engine light will start flashing at you. It's like, you're not misfiring. Stop. Like a minute later, everything's fine.
Yeah.
Just stop. I know you're lying to yourself. You're not misfiring.
Yep. So if anybody's got any suggestions,
I know a guy.
hit up the I need to just do that.
I could actually. I'm sure I got messages from right now. Otherwise, I'll talk to him later this week. I might just see what he has to say on that specific thing. He might actually have something.
Yeah, and I kind of wonder if it's just that at cruise that those cats just aren't getting up to temp. Like,
wouldn't surprise me if it's something silly like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because like I drove it a few different times with them, and they hadn't really like changed color that much. I went and drove it on track, and they became very brown.
Yeah. Yep.
So that crossed my mind, and then I was just thinking, like, what if I do like an even longer extension on it or something like that? But I don't know.
Yeah. No, I'm sure Joe has seen this before. May have a solution.
Yep.
So.
Yep. I just need to hit him up because it's still got there's some odd low RPM drivability things that I don't.
Yeah,
they may just be inherent to putting big old intakes and big old exhaust on it.
Well, that, and it's probably inherent in mail tunes, like mail order tunes, because like he's gonna do a ton of like not full power pull, like drivability on the dyno stuff for mine. That's why my car's been there for days. Like it's not just I show up and watch him tune it for an afternoon and bring it home. Like it's a whole thing. Like there's a reason it costs what it costs, and it's worth every fucking penny.
Yep.
So would not be surprised if for drivability you need probably a little bit more. So even if like someone that's going to take the time to actually dedicate to figuring that stuff out rather than just doing it. Here's a log. Okay, here's a tune. See you in a week or never.
Yep. Yeah, because the only thing they tuned it based on was 2,500 to redline pulls. So,
yeah, I'm not like for what I know about tuning, I'm not surprised if you're going to have a couple issues here and there because like in a situation that isn't that. Yeah.
Yeah. And they were super. I don't want to say anything bad about them. They were super helpful, and the thing runs like a freaking bat out of hell on the track. Like it, like I said, even before it was running right, I picked up like 7 or 8 miles an hour at Eagles Canyon. I'm super excited to go back there now with the suspension changes too. So
yeah, no, it'll be good for sure.
But yep, probably pick his brain on it and say, I'm sorry I didn't just come to you in the first place, but can you help me now? I'm that guy. Sorry.
You mean every one of his customers ever?
Yeah. Yeah. I did this thing and I knew it was probably going to go poorly, and it went poorly. Can you bail me out? Awesome. Thank you.
Save me, Joe. Yep. Happens.
Like everybody that comes in our shop and they're like, I went to 5 places and somebody finally told me about you guys. Well, yeah.
Yeah. Well, hopefully this is the last stop then.
Yep.
All right. Well, hopefully I got some cool updates for next week. Maybe some plans in place. Hopefully I don't have to replace a cam phaser gear in the meantime. But if so be it. Luckily I don't have to do anything too dramatic to get to that, but we'll see.
Fun. We'll think happy thoughts.
Happy thoughts. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah.
We should tell them about our social media channels real quick.
We have some. We do.
Yep. You can find us on Instagram at 1010s Podcast and on Facebook at 1010s Podcast.
Yep.
And there's also the 1010s Consortium or Consortium.
Yep. Which is
the group.
Just a bunch of us like-minded individuals chit-chatting about stuff. Sometimes it's real hopping. Sometimes we do meme wars. Haven't done that in a while. It's about time we do that.
Yeah.
We also have a YouTube channel if you're not currently watching this. There's some older videos where we actually did stuff. Otherwise, it's the video version of this podcast. So hit that up. Hit subscribe. I think we're getting to the point where pretty decent numbers. So if people want to keep adding to that, I think they start monetizing at 1,000.
Whew. Whoa.
We can get a couple pennies here and there. Help pay for the Zoom subscription.
Next time we do this, we should talk about Formula One and what a gigantic freaking mess it is right now.
Ooh, there you go. That might actually get a bunch of new people.
Yep.
But anyways, I think we got a show. Exactly 2 hours.
That's a good show.
Yeah, we'll catch everybody next week.
It was a lot of me, if I'm honest. But
that means it's a good show. It's a good show.